This brand has generated over $1 million in sales on Shopify in just 5 months. 1/3 of that, which is roughly over $300k in revenue, came from email marketing alone. In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact strategy we used to get those results and the exact things we focused on to make sure that they can profitably scale their brand. So here's the proof. As you can see, they've crossed $1 million in just over 5 months, starting from January this year to the end of May this year. From email marketing, we made them over 30% of total revenue, which is roughly 317k. Now, as you can see, the split between campaigns and flows is pretty decent as well, since a lot of the revenue came from campaigns, obviously, and a decent part came from flows as well. We have some SMS set up, it's mainly flows and occasionally we send some SMS, so it was also it played an important role because it made a little bit over 4% of their total revenue. But far majority of that came from email, and now I'm gonna exactly break down what we focused on. So this is gonna be more of a high-level video rather than you know seeing all the flows that we have set up for them, how many emails we had in these flows and so on. I'm gonna focus on things that really mattered and what our goals were. So we focused on optimizing mainly 2 things. First one was the post-purchase journey, second one was called traffic conversion rate. I'm gonna cover both of them step by step, but if you stick to the end of the video, I'm gonna have a little bonus for you, so make sure you watch the entire thing. So the first point was optimizing post-purchase journey. As you can see, throughout these 5 months, we've managed to increase their customer returning rate by 25%. Obviously, this is not our end goal. We still want to see this brand returning customer rate being above 20-25%, but for now 25% increase is still pretty decent, and you're gonna see why in just a second. Because previously this brand was averaging 880 returning customers per month, and during these 5 months from January to May they were averaging 1,265 returning customers per month. That's an extra 385 sales per month. And what you need to remember and acknowledge is that these sales were extremely profitable as we didn't have to pay to acquire these people. They were already subscribed, they were already existing customers, so this brand hasn't spent a single dime to get these people to buy once again. And before I dive into the exact strategy, there's one very important thing to note. Because this brand's customer lifespan is maximum 1 year. It means that if someone places an order today, they're going to place their last order in a year from now. And this is the best case scenario because majority of the time people were purchasing for the last time from this brand for about like 6 to 9 months, and then they were churning. It was mainly because it's a baby niche. So, you know, if baby grows too old, then people won't need the products for their baby anymore, since it's not a baby anymore. That's pretty simple. That's why we're kinda, I don't want to say limited, but we had limited time where these people were able to buy, and after that, they wouldn't come back. Right, because the brand had only baby products, didn't have babies, kids, and then youth and adults and so on. It's only babies. That's why the task was a little tough, but we still managed to once again increase the customer returning rate by 25%. And now if you acknowledge the fact that these people were buying only for about the next 6 to 9 months, it's still pretty decent, especially knowing that this is one-off purchase. These aren't supplements or any kind of thing that people can replenish and they run out of. It was one item purchase essentially. So if they're buying now, they technically would never come back since they don't need another product like that, the same SKU, but we still managed to get them to buy once again, and I'll show you how in a second. So now here are a few things that we've made or optimized in their post-purchase journey to fix the problem that customers are gonna churn about 6 to 9 months. First one was we started sending more cross-sell and repurchase campaigns to buyers, because previously there was another agency managing this brand email marketing, and their strategy was just to send 1 email per week, which in my opinion is not enough, like definitely not enough. And the main content was just pushing different sales, different discount codes, so it was playing into the margin, and which was just like going down, but the people weren't really repurchasing, so it wasn't working that well as well. So we focused on cross-selling complementary products to the main one, because once again, this brand was mainly selling one specific product, which is like their best seller, their main product that they sell, which attributes to like probably 80 or even 90% of total sales, but they have some complementary products that we could cross-sell here and there. So this is what we focused on. And then another thing was getting people to repurchase their main product, and covering why they need it. So this is the thing that I covered previously, that even if this wasn't like a subscription-based product, we still managed to get these people to buy once again, and we convinced them why do you need it once again. We covered stuff like, hygiene, or buying different colors because their baby prefers another color. We had multiple angles that really played a role. I'm not gonna lie, the main angle that we used towards this hygiene and the health aspects, that's why people need to repurchase it once again and kind of refresh it, which has worked pretty well, as you can see. So this was just covering why they need to repurchase the main product. And now, very important thing, which was changing post-purchase flows. Previously, their customer win-back had time delay set to 90 days, which is, something you see in general. This is like a rule of thumb customer win-back flow. But what we've done is we have shortened this period by 50%. So instead of waiting 90 days, where, just mind you, their average lifespan is 6 to 9 months, we tuned it down to 45 days by like almost 50% faster. This was our goal, to get these people to buy way faster, so that we're optimizing really 30, 60, 90 days LTV, rather than trying to win them back after 90 days, which could be a little bit too late. Another thing was adding more cross-sell emails in the customer thank you flow. So my rule for customer thank you flows is that it's mainly for relationship building and making sure that people are loyal and they love your brand. But in this case, since our time window is quite limited, we added a little bit more cross-sell emails, once again introducing complementary products. So this is quite simple. I mean, even if we had like a campaign that was doing very, very well, we were putting it into the flow since we knew that this campaign has performed very, very well. So this was for the customer win-back flow. Customer thank you flow had more cross-sell emails, and also it had like the loyalty and relationship building ones on top of that. And another thing was adding another cross-sell flow. So previously they had mainly customer thank you flow, which was just like, follow us on Instagram, here's how to use the product, which are fine, but they weren't really cross-selling these people complementary products, which was key to getting them to repurchase again. Then they didn't have this cross-sell flow, so we have added another entirely new flow, which was once again going through why people need to repurchase the main product and to why they need to do it. So we weren't only like, hey, buy it once again, maybe you need more. We were actually giving people valid reasons. These weren't some made-up things. Like if they googled, the topic that we covered in the email, they will discover that this is true. So it also builds trust and shows like, okay, this brand cares about me. They are not only here to sell me more products. If I don't need them, they're actually showing me why I need them. That's why it worked so well. And last thing was changing time delay from 90 days to 45 days. So as you can see, the average lifespan is 6 to 9 months, which means that we, as like this brand currently, in the first 2 months after the initial purchase, are retargeting people with customer thank you flow, cross-sell flow, and customer win-back flow. This is a little bit more aggressive of a strategy, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, unless, once again, your lifespan of your customers is very short, right? I think I read like the other day that average lifespan for e-commerce brand is like 3 years. So if someone buys from you today, they can keep buying for another 1, 2, and 3 years. So I think like 6 to 9 months for this brand specifically is a little bit low. That's why we were quite aggressive with these flows. And one more important thing, they were not overriding each other. So it's not like someone would receive customer thank you flow simultaneously with cross-sell flow and then customer win-back flow. These were all one by one. So if someone had customer thank you flow, they finished that, okay, they went for the cross-sell flow, they finished that, okay, they went for the customer win-back flow. So this is about it. Now, cold traffic conversion rate. So a lot of people think that email marketing is mainly a retention tool, and I mean, it is true, it's great for retention, but a lot of people forget that you can use it to convert more prospects into buyers. And that's exactly what we've done. I mean, just look at our top flows from this period. As you can see, welcome flow, pretty standard, abandoned checkout, abandoned cart, and customer thank you. Nothing too crazy, like the main core flows really, but if you look at the revenue they have generated, it is quite crazy, because 91k came from the welcome flow alone. So during this period we made them over 300k, and almost 1/3 of that came from the welcome flow alone. And it's not like we're only stealing the attribution from the website, because our pop-up had very safe time delay. It was like about 30 seconds, I believe. So people had a lot of time to make the purchase, and if they didn't do it, then this is when we're showing them the pop-up and making them enter the welcome flow. That's also why the revenue per recipient is so high, because it's not like we're targeting everyone and having the sign-up form on the page load. No, it was very conservative, very safe. That's why these results. Then another thing was recovering abandoned carts and checkouts. This is exactly why you need both of these flows. If you don't have abandoned cart flow, make sure you watch my other video, which is gonna pop up somewhere on the screen, but it shows you step by step how to install custom snippet code to make sure that you have both of these. Again, if you didn't have this one, we would essentially miss out on 11k in extra revenue, which was just lying on the table, like literally. So all of these flows combined, welcome flow, abandoned cart and checkout, all these free pre-purchase flows have generated 136k in extra revenue in 5 months, which is a little bit over 10% of total revenue came from only these 3 flows, right? It's quite insane, but once again, these are called traffic flows, so pre-purchase flows. They are for new prospects who are gonna become new customers. We also had browse abandonment flow, site abandonment flow, and window shopper flows. Obviously they weren't generating as many sales as these, like these 3 were there's 4 essentially, but I'm referring to 3 as free pre-purchase flows, were responsible for majority of the revenue, 80-20% rule essentially, right? So if you combine all of that with campaigns targeting non-buyers and their objections, it resulted in converting a ton of new people and getting a ton of new customers. That's why, once again, email marketing is just a great tool for getting also new people to buy from you, get to know you, because one ad is not gonna be enough to convert them, right? If they're scrolling through Facebook, they see your ad, they click on it, okay, maybe they get interested, but they may not be ready to purchase right away. But on the other hand, if you have a sign-up form and they enter your email list and go through the welcome flow, which for example has like 6, 8 or maybe 10 emails, you're gonna learn more about your brand, they're gonna trust you more, and they're more likely to convert and buy from you. And if welcome flow doesn't accomplish that, you have singular campaigns that are targeting these people and covering their objections. This is why it works so well. Here are some of the campaign ideas that we sent to non-buyers, which again have worked pretty well. First one, FAQs, quite self-explanatory, like people have questions, so just answer them. Mythbuster, great campaign, definitely always performs well, no matter what the industry. You just cover common myths about the product, about the problem people have, solutions, and so on. Social proof, once again, very strong campaign, just showing reviews that your brand is legit, that other people are buying from you and they actually enjoy it. About us, campaigns or story about the brand, another angle that works great just because people like to know who they're buying from. It may not work for everyone though, like if you're more focused on direct response or you're not that heavily on branding side, they probably won't do so well, but in this case, the founders were like the faces of the brand, so all these emails were like really building close relationship and getting to know the brand even more. That's why they worked so well. And then obviously we had occasional promos and discounts, but it's not like we were relying on them. They weren't the primary theme of the campaigns. We're sending like 3 to 4 campaigns per week for this brand, in total like between 12 to 16 per month. And occasional promos or discounts were maybe like 1 or 2 campaigns per month. So you can see that we are more heavily on the content side and educating people. And obviously these were also selling the product, but they weren't just cutting the margins with giving out discounts. Now, one important note, this wasn't a subscription-based product. This brand sells only one of products. And I have already mentioned that, and it is very important just because of how Klaviyo attribution works. Like if you have supplement brand and someone opens the email and their subscription kicks in, the sale is gonna get attributed to either the flow or the campaign, right? But these were one-off items. There is no way to purchase this product as a subscription. That's why these purchases were actually generated by email and Klaviyo. So this was very important once again. Another note is that it was not a seasonal product, but our May was already better in terms of revenue than November. And it's both in terms of total revenue as well as email revenue, which just shows that, you know, if in May we're able to get better results than in November already, like 6 months after, imagine what happens during Black Friday. It's just gonna be insane. That's why I have right now this little bonus for you, because sending foundations in place and having them ready to go before Q4 is what makes or breaks your Black Friday essentially. Like if you wake up on, you know, in November and you're like, okay, I don't have flows, I don't have campaigns, I don't know what to do, my deliverability is poor, then you're not gonna get such results like, for example, this brand, which I'm sure is gonna just crush it. So if you're an e-commerce brand and you need some help with setting up the flows, optimizing deliverability, or just preparing campaign strategy or campaign calendar, you can book a free call with me in the video description and we're gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna sell you anything, I just want to help you out to make sure that you have foundations set in place right now so we can grow and profitably scale in Q4. That's it for this video. If you're interested, you can check out my other case study videos, like for example this one, where I took an e-commerce brand from no email marketing at all to making them over 371K in just 1 month. Thank you and see you in the next one.